Under the banner of Design for the Unimagined, our first two presenters were accepted under the sub-theme of Responses in Extreme Times. Our world is facing many complex challenges, from the ongoing pandemic to climate change, from overpopulation to global migrations. These extreme circumstances have not only forced us to rethink how we live our lives, but have also brought us together in new ways that showcase how humans can adapt in times of crisis. Our first presenter is Eva Vanessa Bruno from Italy. Eva is a product and industrial designer and a PhD student in management, production, and design at the Department of Architecture and Design at the Politecnico di Torino in Italy. She's currently researching the enhancement of local production culture through the design of driven process and industrial design conversion and product diversification for various companies in Italy. Please join me in welcoming Eva to the main stage. Eva.
Thank you for introducing me. Can you hear me? Yes. My name is Eva Vanessa Bruno. I am a PhD student in management, production, and design at the Politecnico of Turin. I am an industrial and product designer, and I'm very glad to present my presentation and my paper here. First of all, welcome to my presentation. I'm very glad to present a focus of my PhD research and the result of the first year of my doctorate. The title of the paper I'm going to talk about is New Design-Oriented Strategic Direction for the Regional Economy. Proposal for a framework for cataloging industrial conversion and product diversification to face complex market crises. The paper has been written by my tutor Beatrice Lerma, researcher in design at Politecnico of Turin, with Virginia Palazzolo, engineering and young researcher at Politecnico of Turin, and Francesca Montagna, professor in innovation management at Politecnico of Turin. The Torino Chamber of Commerce is the main research partner. I start my presentation with two challenging questions: how to include designers in strategic business decision to find new forms of creativity and collaboration, and how to analyze the company's capabilities to face complex problems, adapt in times of crisis, and to identify strategic solutions. Let's try to answer them. I'd like to briefly summarize the content of the presentation. I'll be telling you about the research context, then the way I found through my research to design the unimagined industrial conversion and product diversification of firms in difficulty, and the effect on the territory of this solution I'm going to talk about. Finally, I will explain the core of the presentation, how I cataloged the case studies, and how my doctoral research used those case studies to create a framework capable of finding new strategic direction. Let me introduce the context of the research. In the current global economy, pioneering and disruptive business strategies has become a central topic for dealing with market crisis. Strategic designer and innovation manager can play an essential role in addressing the challenge of business models. The research I'm going to talk to you is based on a qualitative and quantitative analysis of product diversification and industrial conversion, and I am going to present you one of the main outputs of the research, a framework that collects 60 case studies of Italian companies that in the last 50 years have implemented design-oriented industrial conversion and product diversification strategies towards sector whose industrial design is rooted in the territory. Both business strategies aim at sharing company risk in a situation of crisis, production inefficiency, or change in technological paradigms through the updating and expansion of their product portfolio. In order to categorize the case studies I collected on the first year of the doctorate, the research starts from the definition of industrial conversion and product diversification to find requirements for the cited framework. Some companies operating in mature or declining sector implement corporate-level strategies such as industrial conversion and product diversification to increase revenue and survive. Companies carry out reconversion either during phases of instability or when they go bankrupt. They change the flagship product and enter new sector and new markets. There are two types of reconversion. When companies shift in the value chain, for example, with verticalization, when they shift from semi-finished products to products, and when companies change their core sector. Companies implement diversification by making decisions on which products to launch, improve, or eliminate, depending on the stage of the life cycle of the product. In this case, they are more aware of their products and they can foresee possible crises. Therefore, in the database, the authors include companies in a difficult situation whose post-conversion products or service or production processes are the new core business, different from the previous one, and approach industrial design. The companies of the framework are considered examples that implement growth and innovation strategies to develop innovative production activities in the territory, careful to the environment and to the productive social and cultural context in which they are inserted. Within the territory, the design-oriented industrial conversion and product diversification positively impact the whole area, given the characteristic relationship of production systems. Could be horizontal, so between companies that carry out the same activities, or vertical between companies connected in the supply chain. The strategy strengthens the territory by local production culture and create new relations between the territory actors through these processes. So companies which are expertise, they have already possessed a new collaboration with designers. They realize new products that strengthen the territorial specialization. The research portion described here uses the collection of case studies, a research method, following a well-established iterative path that you can see in the slide. The sources consulted are many and varied, such as reports from research centers, articles from national newspaper, and territorial bodies. The research began by investigating adverse events and historical crises, such as international conflicts, the 2008 economic crisis, the COVID-19 pandemic, and the industrial district crisis in Italy. The database to date catalogs more than 60 case studies based on information regarding the territory and its resources, such as geographical location, production system in which they are inserted, the size of the company, and the company knowledge that allowed the diversification or conversion. And finally, the materials and production processes used before and after the strategies. The research is currently in the information collection and analysis phase. The research primary goal is to create a shareable analysis and tool set to be provided to companies that could benefit from a design-driven conversion process based on the case studies collected before. Indeed, the doctoral research wants to bring the design culture as an added value for manufacturing companies that have not yet exploited the design as a potential competitive advantage, because the design can boost their ability to cope with change. We will analyze those selected companies through methods on the design and management side to support them during the whole process. Following the collection of those 60 case studies, we formalized the first intermediate outcome, which is a framework consisting of 5 conversion axes, which are: the first one, conversion diversification, to distinguish the strategies on the horizontal axis. On the vertical axis, the production process, if we change the production process or we introduce new products. So if the company has changed the production process or introduced new product. The number 3 on the left, if the sector if remain the same of each change. So if the company has moved from a new sector. The fourth, the sector they belonged, if is a traction sector or a expanding one, to understand the company context. And finally, the direction of expansion at the business level, distributional channel, customer, geography, and so on. We can see in this slide an example of 2 companies included in the framework on this slide. On the right, Fiam, an Italian industry leader in glass furniture that has been able to diversify its product portfolio by including mirrors and therefore the mirroring production process, up to smart TV with a brand extension with another brand. On the left is the Fabbrica Torino industry, which started as a manufacturer of Bakelite components for the automotive sector in Turin, which is quite famous with Fiat, now FCA, which has completely changed the industry. It now produces acetate eyeglasses and sunglasses, taking advantage of its previous plastic processes capability. The research path included a state-of-the-art analysis through a literature review, a subsequent focus of the territory, and a collection of case studies that helped establish the criteria to determine when a design-oriented industrial conversion occurs or not. We aim to orient companies towards new strategic direction suitable for the local economy and validate this framework with a funding program and an open call for Piedmontese firms in Italy. At this point, let's try to answer the previous research question. Designers can be vectors of innovation, orienting entrepreneurial choices towards the production of goods with high added value. Their contribution in terms of analysis, exploration, vision influences not only the design of production and services of products and services, but the entire design business strategy. Through which processes, through conversion and diversification processes, both business strategies aim to share the company risk in situation of crisis, production inefficiency, or change in technology paradigm, through the updating and expansion of the product portfolio from their existing capabilities. Thank you. I hope you have enjoyed my presentation.
Thank you, Eva. I recall my PhD work, and I think you're right in the middle of some very exciting work. I think, coming back to our keynote speaker, the case study is one of the most important methods we have in design research for finding our answers. So we wish you well in the continuation of your research. And I was really struck by the overall title you had, which was From Crisis to Opportunity. So you're really providing important information to us. I remind the audience now that these presentations you're seeing are of longer papers that will be available on the WDO website very soon. And we'll bring Eva back in a moment. Before that, I would like to invite our second presenter under the sub-theme of responses in extreme times to join us on the main stage. Dr. Xiaolei Min is a postdoctoral research associate at the School of Design, Hunan University in China. Her research interests include cultural ecology, design innovation, intangible cultural heritage, and cultural industries. As an active practitioner of the New Channel Design and Social Innovation Project, she has continued to participate in rural fieldwork and cultural research, and she has organized international exhibitions in Milan, Paris, among other cities. Dr. Min, please.
Hi, can you hear me? Good morning, everyone, and it is my honor to speak here. And I am Xiaolei Min. I am a postdoctoral researcher at the School of Design in Hunan University. And today my presentation is about the innovative design ecology of intangible cultural heritage in social transformation. This research is based on 12 years of design and social innovation practice in rural China. Okay, the contents include 4 parts, which are background, cognition, method, and practice. I will use ICH to refer to intangible cultural heritage in the following presentation. Well, the first part is the background and the problems. Well, in recent years, ICH has attracted the attention and the participation of many people in the background of social transformation, which can be seen in 4 dimensions: industry, culture, technology, and the economy. The process of ICH protection in China can be divided into 4 stages, which are rescuing, industrialization, digitalization, and the systemic protection. So you can see this is a greenhouse. If we regard the plants as ICH projects, we can find that in order to protect them, many elements need to be guaranteed, like water, temperature, and so on. However, in this way, ICH are isolated and separated from their own social and cultural environment. So it is like being enclosed in a museum or gallery, and this is not a very sustainable solution. So we can see that in our time, there are many unimagined problems and challenges, like decontextualization, over-commercialization, and fragmentation. So we need to build an innovative design ecology to drive the sustainable development. And here shows the research structure and the methods. First is the cognition level. We define the elements and the relationships of the cultural ecology. Second is the method level. We construct a digitalized innovative design ecology. And the third is the practice level. We conduct design and social innovation project in rural communities. So here comes to the second part, cognition level. Well, in this part, the theory of cultural ecology is an important basis. The concept was put forward in 1955 by Julian Stewart, and it has developed with the times and had a profound impact on many areas. Then I use both viewer and set space to make the knowledge graph. Based on the databases like the Web of Science and Scopus, I conduct keyword co-occurrence analysis and find out the research hotspots, priorities, and interrelationships. Well, in the past 7 years, I traveled around 15 minority areas in China, collected data and the resources of 45 projects. I participated in 12 international exhibitions in Milan, Paris, Saint Etienne, and other places to bring Chinese traditional culture to the world. So based on the research, I constructed the ICH cultural ecology system, which is made of 2 layers and 8 elements. The inner blue circle is the central layer. There are 4 elements: subject, space, technology, and representation. And the outer gray circle is the ambient layer, which is made of 4 elements: politics, industry, service, and capital. Where you can see every element plays different role in this system, and they are constantly changing with social transformation. So the features of this system are complexity, sustainability, integrity, and resilience. By building this dynamic system, we can know the traditional culture better and help it to resist unimagined challenges. And here comes to the third part, method level. Well, with the rapid development of technology, digitalization become one of the most important ways for the innovation. Here shows the research about some global digital protection platforms. There are 5 kinds of platforms: collection, trading, learning, social, and creative. So there are many different kinds of innovation methods. They are used in the process of 5 stages: collect cultural resources, build knowledge system, create new cultural forms, integrate scenes and formats, improve public services. Many projects like Google Arts and Culture, Tencent, and some studios, they have been doing it for many years. So we reorganized the methods and constructed the ICH innovative design ecology. In the path of deconstruction, reconstruction, and the regeneration, we can transform local cultural resources to creation knowledge, industry applications, and global value. Finally, it goes back to local communities, forming a circular system. So the last part is practice level. And this research comes from the new channel design and social innovation project that has been continuously organized by our school since 2009. For 12 years, we conducted deep field investigations in minority communities in rural China, forming a global cross-cultural social innovation network. So you can see here are the people that we met in our projects. And here is a practice roadmap. You can see that we mainly focused on central China, and the route forms a beautiful 120-degree sector. In this process, we have collected a variety of traditional cultural resources. And the practice, the process of practice can be divided into 3 stages. The first stage is the manual protection. Based on the handicraft of stone brocade, we cooperated with local weavers and designed many cultural creative products like scarves, bags, and pillows, and we will we will turn back all the sales revenue to the local people to help them out of poverty and promote the development of local industries. And the second stage is industrial production. Well, we really need to know that industrialization doesn't mean to replace handicrafts, but to help the promotion and the redistribution of the skills. Based on the Huayao cross-stitching handicraft, we use digital softwares and the machine to produce modern products and sell them on online platforms. Well, the third stage is digital intelligence. We can see that based on the traditional paper cutting handicraft in Dong minority, we use technical methods like programming to learn and generate new patterns in order to recreate the cultural forms and services. So in conclusion, we can see an integrating and symbiotic ICH innovation ecology. In these three stages, the research methods and the social values are changing too. So in the future, I believe that design will show the new spirit of the times under the integration of culture and technology, and constantly promote the cross-dimensional creation. Here are some of my references. And this is my contact information. Thank you all. Thank you for your listening. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Min, for that very interesting perspective. It was very impressive to see the breadth of your research across such a great expanse of rural China. It was also interesting to see you move from the intangible, as you said, to the unimagined, and also to, as you said, not to replace, but to replicate. So at this point, I think I'd like now to invite the two presenters back to the main stage, and we'll invite our virtual participants to share any questions that they may have on the chat. And I think we'll feed me some questions now from the chat, please. Yes, okay, the first question is for Xiao Lei. Can you tell us some of the challenges that you faced doing field research?
Well, I think doing field research is a very difficult thing for me, because I have been doing this new channel design and the social innovation project for like 7 years, and I have been to many very poor areas in China, and I think the most hard thing to do is how to build the relationships with local people, and how to share your thoughts to the local people, because we are the designers, right? So we have our methods, so we have our thoughts, but we don't know how to show them, and how to learn the local culture. So I think this is a very hard part, and we should use the many methods and to continue to doing this in a very long way. So I think this is a very difficult part, and also I think this is a very good it's a good question for our designers to think in a long way. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much. Yes, thank you. We have a question also here for Eva. Eva, Did you discover anything extraordinary during your research, and did you find anything unprecedented?
Yeah, I think I found with my case studies some very good change in markets, some very unexplored markets. For example, I found some case studies that before they produced components or semi-finished products, so very not related to design, but they found in the design activity the real value of the new business. So they changed from producing components to design object.
Thank you. So thank you, Eva. This next question, by the way, maybe we'll let both of you answer. It's the kind of question you can imagine many students and young designers are asking themselves every day. It's very generic, but the question is, how can designers approach complex problems? And maybe Eva, if you'd go first, and then we'll go to Dr. Min.
Okay. During my research, I found some tools to untangling the complexity. There are some tools to help designers to define a simple path. For example, I have in mind one tool called Product Space that can help, developed by Harvard University, that can help industrial designer to untangling the economic complexity of a country and define new path for innovation also in the corporate level of a firm. So there are some tools that can help us in this process. And for my research, I found these tools, for example.
Thank you. Dr. Min, did you want to answer that same question? How can designers approach complex problems?
Well, I think there are in our time, so many problems. They are very complicated and complex. So you can see that I built many structures, and we can see that many elements, they have to work together, and I think this is very important for us to follow, and this is why we should change our thoughts and change our way of thinking as designers. So I think this is a really a good way for us to solve the complex problems. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And we both we look forward actually to seeing both of your full papers when we publish them soon in the proceedings.